Here are 4 habits of highly self-aware people that you can use to become more self-aware yourself. They're curious about their own mind. Self-aware people are curious about their own minds and how they work. They frequently think about their thoughts and thinking patterns. Technically, this is called metacognition. It means you are aware of the fact that you're thinking things and able to assess the quality and usefulness of that thinking. For example, people often say things like, "I just got so worried and I couldn't stop thinking of all the bad things that might happen. And before I knew it, I was in the middle of a panic attack." In reality, worry is something you do, not something that happens to you. It's a habitual pattern of thinking that leads to tremendous anxiety and stress. They take feedback seriously. Genuinely self-aware people have the humility to understand that they can't always see themselves objectively. And they know that often the best way to be more objective about yourself is through the lens of other people. The trick here is that there is no trick. If you want to see yourself through other people's eyes, you must ask. What gets in the way of most of us asking for feedback is that we're afraid of getting bad news. The most direct way through this fear is to ask yourself, would I rather have a small but intense blast of criticism now, or years and decades of nagging self-doubt and underhanded criticism that comes from avoiding facing my shortcomings? They listen a lot more than they talk. True self-awareness comes from genuine interaction with other people, from conversation. But to get there, you need to be able to listen. To really listen. The key to gaining meaningful self-awareness through listening is to manage your own thoughts during a conversation. It's hard to truly listen when you're formulating your own ideas and only halfway paying attention to theirs. Practice letting go of your own narcissistic impulses and cultivating curiosity instead. Ironically, by bending your attention outward, you're far more likely to stumble on something useful about yourself. They don't judge themselves for how they feel. It always surprises how judgmental people are with themselves, especially for something they have no direct control over, their emotions. You can't control your emotions, only your actions. So we all know intellectually that judging ourselves for how we feel doesn't make any sense. And yet, we still do it constantly. We tell ourselves we're bad for feeling angry. We criticize ourselves for feeling anxious instead of confident. We judge ourselves as weak because we feel sad and hopeless instead of optimistic. The solution is to learn to observe your emotions and notice them without passing judgment on them. And the best way to get started with this is to practice labeling your emotions with simple, plain language. Anytime you feel upset, instead of avoiding the feeling or glossing over it with vague language like, "I'm stressed" or "I'm overwhelmed," try describing how you feel like a child would. "I'm angry. I feel afraid. I'm sad." When you get in the habit of describing your emotions in plain, ordinary language, you'll find that you have a clearer insight into those emotions and how to respond to them in a healthy way. So if you want to be more self-aware, build the habits that foster it. Get curious about your own mind. Take feedback seriously. Listen more, talk less. Stop judging yourself for how you feel.